Hello peeps, back to you again, Mr. ATC for another idea of housing through recycling. And as I was telling you in my last video 2 days ago, today we're gonna talk about a deck, a pallet deck that we will be making, and I will be showing you how I'm doing it at home, as always, and showing you the different tips and tricks and the different mistakes that I've made as well, because you know, when you are working, especially with pallets, you have a lot of things to take into consideration and things you didn't think about before. So today I'm gonna show you how I'm digging the ground, because before placing the deck, you need to prepare the ground. As you can imagine, I needed to remove the different layer of grass and the different stone, you know, because in this area we have a lot of stone. So, in order to prepare the deck, we're gonna start by digging. I'm gonna start by digging and showing you how I've made it. Remember that this project will be in several videos, so feel free to subscribe to my ATC TV just right here. Don't miss out on the next videos that I will be sharing with you pretty soon. Alright, let's take a look. So, as you can imagine, when you start with this type of project, you need to visualize, and you need to visualize yourself at the end of the project. So, that means that you need to think about all the materials that you will need in order to achieve the project. And in that case, as I'm working with pallet most of the time, I've decided to work with those two types of pallets. So, the first one is a European type pallets, as you can see just right here, and the other one is more the Asian type. For this project, I've decided to work with this type of pallet, you know, because you need to put something underneath that is very solid, you know, and this one is stronger than the other one. So I've decided to put this type of pallet first on the ground, and in order to create the different square, the different plank, I will be using this type of pallet. So in total, as you can imagine, you will need to take into consideration the measurements for this one and this one. Here we have 15 centimeters, and then when creating the different square, we will have around 2 to 3 centimeters. So this will give us a total of 15 plus 3 centimeters. So you will have to dig at least at 18 centimeters. Alright, so now we can go and take a look at the place itself. As you can imagine, the first thing that I had to do was to remove all the grass to have a clear view of the space. Then, in order to set up the limits, I've decided to create 2 extra large planters, pallet planters, in order to see exactly where I need to go. And after that, by using my garden fork, I start the digging. Keep in mind that this is the kind of things that you will have to do over several days to avoid too much pain, but also to take your time in order to reach the 18 to 20 centimeter deep. And the surface that I'm working on here is measuring 3 by 4 meters. So as you can imagine, that's the type of space that you need to take your time and do it well. Then, in order to start collecting everything, I will be using an XXL bag. And keep in mind that here, I'm using a construction bag. Then after that, I will be using my garden rake in order to flat it up as much as possible. To follow after that with my level in order to see if the ground is leveled enough. But when taking it, I realized that I need to go even deeper. So I will be digging a little bit more in order to reach the appropriate level. So as you can imagine, this one was part 1 of this project, this pallet deck, and I hope that you liked it. As you can see, it's not that easy to prepare the ground, but you need to take your time and go deep enough, as I was telling you, because you need to receive 2 types of pallets. So as you can imagine, it needs to be deep enough to welcome those type of pallets, and after that you will be able to properly work and to place the different layers in order to start preparing your deck. Alright, so that was part 1 of the pallet deck project. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask them in the comments. Note that we also have different members in the community sharing their own project with us. So feel free to take a look at this one here, which is giving you another idea of housing and sharing with you some nice tips. All right, Mr. ATC, again for you for another idea of housing recycling. I will be seeing you on Saturday for part 2 of our Pallet Deck project. See you next time.